prohibition. It's no secret that banning alcohol didn't stop people from living it up in the 1920s.
When we're 5 years into prohibition, the government is starting to go, okay, this isn't working.
I'm Ed Helms, and on season 3 of Snafu, we're taking you back to the 1920s, the tale of Formula 6. What you probably don't know about prohibition is that American citizens were dying due to poisoned liquor, and all along an unlikely duo was trying desperately to stop the corruption behind it. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Snafu, and listen now. KFI, AM 640.
I couldn't stop on seeing here now. Imagine that ability and capability was extended to these dispensaries where we have Wi-Fi. It's more for Starbucks. Right. I sit there and get online and have an edible along with the cappuccino. Yeah, done.
No, Kelly. Done. 5, 7 to 10 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Mom, is this how you feed hipsters?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is this milk still good?
I think so. When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think no. If something is important with your child's car seat, don't just think no. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. Don't overthink the park ride. Don't just think no by visiting nhTSA.gov/the right seat. Message inside the advertisement.
Look how crazy political correctness is going. For example, if I say something to Amy, which I did about if she is not offended and no one complains, it's still a violation.
Oh, I was offended.
Phil handled that is a file that I want to see live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI, AM 640.
Who in the fuck are the Minionites? Midianites.
Just what makes that blue red? Thank you, that probably where anyone knows that can move over a tree plant, but he's got eyes. He's got eyes. He's got so anytime you get close, instead of letting go, just remember that oops, there goes another tree plant.
From somewhere out there, this is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
We're going to take calls with Cheryl Jones next hour here on Coast to Coast. And Tom is here to talk about ParanormalDate.com.
I sure am. You know, if you're looking for a companion, someone that thinks like you do, that relates to the things you do, so you don't sit around on thoughts all the time or have nothing to say. Nothing's worse than like a date. You go out with someone and just have nothing to say. So to find those people that think like you just go to ParanormalDate.com. They're all hanging out there waiting for you. If you're looking for somebody maybe over 2 or say 60 plus, just head over to ParanormalDate.com/seniors and there you'll find the same people that relate to the things you do. They think like you do, but they're 60 plus. Check it out. At ParanormalDate.com, you meet the most fantastic people. Hi, I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. What brings you here?
Yeah, I'm here to meet someone who understands.
How so?
Well, I'm into UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, the paranormal, that kind of stuff. But can't seem to find anyone who gets you.
Oh, well, it's nice to meet you, Tom. I gotta go.
Okay, I guess that's not your cup of tea. You sure?
Here, good luck with that.
Have you thought about paranormal things?
Hey, I apologize. My modem went down for a second. Can you give me a couple seconds and then we can continue our discussion? Excellent. I appreciate your patience.
This paranormal date.com thing really works. Maybe paranormal
RapidRadio.com is for you, people with an interest in things they hear on George's show. Find their match daily. So if you're looking for that special someone with an interest in UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, and of course, the paranormal, come to the dating site Inspired by George Norrie. It's always free to search, and if you decide to upgrade to our amazing new features, use promo code George for a great discount. Paranormaltate.com. You are not alone.
One of our new sponsors, Rapid Radios, with a couple of spunky talkies that are a must-have this year. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk devices with nationwide coverage, 100% private and encrypted and great communication device for the elderly. No subscriptions, just visit RapidRadios.com. For limited time, go to RapidRadios.com and you'll get up to 60% off. Free UPS shipping from Michigan, and code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code EASY. Swishradio.com, code EASY.
Real people, real stories.
I was only sick for 7 days, but the exhaustion lasted for 2 years. I had this horrible brain fog. My memory never really totally returned. I kept hearing the carnivore. I was like, I'm going to try it. I tried it 10 days to 2 weeks after taking the carnivore. I could not believe what happened. I was 70. I had energy like I was 40. It seemed so remarkable to me because I wasn't exhausted anymore. I had my clarity and my brain back. I mean, do you know how much it means to be able to think again? I was really happy about that. It's like I kept telling everyone I have a brain again.
Call 866-836-8735. That's 866-836-8735. Or visit carnivore.com. That's CARNIVORE.com.
And welcome back to Coast to Coast. George Norrie, along with investigative reporter Cheryl Jones. Cheryl, how did you find Dr. Misty?
Oh, it was a lot of phone calls, and it basically started with a research of a trail on the internet with the doomsday fish, also scientifically known as the oarfish, making headlines around the world over the sightings over the last year from the Pacific Coast, over on the Pacific Coast of California. And a lot of people, especially emanating from the Japanese culture, believe that when one of these oarfishes or doomsday fishes surfaces on the beach, that's a sign of bad things to come, like an earthquake or tsunami. And, I did ask her about the possibility that maybe there is something to it. And so frequently when the sightings occur for their beach fish, they think they're dying or they're dead. After that, there's often an earthquake or tsunami, but their scientific research doesn't show a link to that. That doesn't mean that the evidence is there, and they just can't find it because it's difficult to research that. Also, when in advance of an earthquake, when the plates shift, some gases come up through that in the surface, and that also would be an element to consider when fish perhaps inhale that. That could have some effect. I mean, that's one theory throwing out there.
Well, when the tsunami hit Indonesia a few years ago, animals ran from the hills.
Yes, animals are very sensitive, as you know, so they often can pick up things in advance. Now, I thought it was interesting that she and the scientists went a step further than a lot of scientists do when it comes to something like this, because she said she was open. And, she'd like to see more evidence, and she was very intrigued by that, basically. It doesn't mean, though, that there's that solid, tangible evidence that scientists want to be
I'm here. I'm resetting my live streams. If my internet ever hiccups, I have to reset them all, and it takes. I'm nearly done. I'll be done in a few moments.
She talks about the scientific research going on at the Fab Lab at the University of Southern California in Fullerton. She recently discovered and recovered.
All right, there we go. Thank you for your patience. Um, so as I was saying, at least when I'm asked about what is God, I go to Maimonides, Rambam, as he's affectionately called, and what he very simply summarizes what it is to be a Jew is the 13 principles of faith. Oh, most certainly. So the idea is that we have an existence of God, the belief in the existence of the Creator, who is perfect in every manner of existence and is the primary cause of all that exists. There's the unity of God, belief in God's absolute and unparalleled unity. There's the incorporeality of God, belief in God's non corporeal nature. God does not possess a physical form. And then this is right where we got cut off. So there's the eternity of God, or a part the eternality of God. So this is belief in God's eternity, that God is beyond time. And the fifth principle of faith that we have is God alone is to be worshipped. So belief that prayer is to be directed only to God. No other being or entity is worthy of such worship. That's why within Judaism, we don't have, you don't need to go to a rabbi to be able to pray, like you may need to go to a priest or have a confession or go to pray to a saint. Uh, certainly, certainly, but you do in some denominations go there for like as a reconciliation medium, somebody who takes your prayer to God. We don't need that. We directly communicate with God. There's the prophecy of Moses, so Moshe Rabbeinu, belief in the prophecy of Moses, our teacher, is considered true, and he was the greatest of all prophets, both before and after him. The divine origin of the Torah, many people struggle with this, but it's the idea that the entire Torah, including both the written law and oral law, was given to Moses. There's the immutability of the Torah, belief that the Torah will not be exchanged, nor will there be another Torah from the Creator. The idea of God's omniscience and providence, belief that God knows all the deeds and thoughts of human beings. There's reward and punishment, belief that God rewards those who keep his commandments and punishes those who transgress them. The coming of the Messiah, who we call Mashiach, belief in the eventual coming of the Messiah and the Messianic era, and resurrection of the dead, belief in the resurrection of the dead at the time when it will please the Creator. So, essentially, of these, when someone asks me, well, what is God? It's really, this is just a traditional interpretation, but we believe in the existence of God, the unity of God, the non-corporeal nature of God, the eternality of God, or God's eternal, um, the idea that God is beyond time, and that God is alone to be worshipped. And um, those five principles are really a good foundation for a human's understanding of what God is. But the key point of this is no matter how much we, as Jews, hold Rambam or Maimonides as a posek or a spiritual guide, not even he knew. That was just his interpretation in about 1100 of the Common Era. If you really want to know what God is, if you ask me and I'm talking to people and I people of all faiths, and I don't want to offend them, and I want to make sure that they understand what I understand. I refer to God as energy. God is in everything. And when I say God is energy, people who are secular can understand that. People who are religious can understand that. People who are spiritual can understand that. And it, to me, God is that energy force that allows everything in the universe to exist in the divine symphony and dance that we are a part of. All forms, correct? Meaning, yeah, that gets messy and scientific. And when you try to put God into a box, you're just going to look foolish. If I'm talking to Jews and they want to know, okay, what specifically do we need to know? It's about God's eternality, the non corporeal sense of God, the unity of God, the existence of God. But if I'm talking to people who are perhaps non practicing Jews who don't believe in those kinds of things, but I still want to give them a common ground. If I say to them that really all of this means is that God is energy, they understand that. And people of all backgrounds understand that. And I really think that's what people believe when they're praying to something. They are praying to the spiritual or divine essence of that which makes up the universe. That to me is God. Good. Then I feel you were praying to God. Now that may be true.
Filtration system. Future filtration system. Or
Well,
homes, whatever. Could it go that far?
the truth of the matter, the, the truth of the matter, the truth of the matter is no one knows. We're all agnostic. It's all subjective opinion. You don't know. I don't know. Maimonides didn't know. Just one moment. Just one moment. Just one moment, Kings. For some reason, I'm having some internet issues.
Safer future in lab and
No one has. No one. No one has.
it's amazing. So the sky is
Okay. Nevertheless, it would just be their opinion. Nevertheless, it would just be their opinion. If you ask any, it is. Every, every opinion is subjective. Every opinion is subjective.
missing. Where can people follow your search keyword with all that you've talked about? Transformative innovation, mention and working on the filtration system,
Every
armor, and
then it's all subjective. Hey, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. The idea that you're saying is a very crucial idea. The idea is every opinion is subjective except that sentence. That's the only objective opinion there can be. It's very paradoxical. I That's true, but it's still subjective. because I mean, you could always have a larger group that interprets that which the smaller group interpreted differently. The corpse, the corpse flower. No, the corpse flower isn't a mushroom. It's a flower. It well, we'll look it up. Flower bloom once 100 years. I know the corpse flower is well, it has a very long. Okay, Queen of the Andes is 80 to 100 years in the wild. Okay, okay, sure. Okay, 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 okay. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Hold on, hold on. I I disagree with you. They don't all have the same vision or the same ability to interpret color or the event. So their interpretation would vary individually. I disagree. If you take 100 people, five of them are going to have vision issues. Most certainly they would be. I would want to see that flower, and I have vision issues. Okay, so I disagree with that. I think that there are people who have less than perfect vision. I mean, really, perfect vision doesn't exist, but let's say less than average vision who would want to partake. Well, then isn't that going to change the subjectivity of their view? Well, there's that. Perhaps they don't need to be closer, but they need to be farther. They are farsighted and not nearsighted. There are some people who have severe farsightedness who would be able to interpret this event better if they were farther away from it. Yeah, people who are farsighted. I give find it. Yeah, let's find it. Let's find it. Let's find it. I had an object in the middle of the circle, and I had 100 people around it. Approximately, what would be the radius between each person and the center object on average? I'm asking AI. How many feet approximately would that be with average sized people? If we assume that you have 2 feet of space between each person, 100 people times 2 feet is 200 feet. So it'd be like 31.8. I mean, it's 31. It's 31.83 feet. Circumference doesn't matter. Radius is the only thing that matters in this. Right. So it's 200 equals 2 pi r. R is equal to 200 over 2 pi, which is approximately equal to 200 over 6.28, which is approximately 31.83 feet. So if people are 2 feet apart, then the radius of the circle would be approximately 31.83 feet. So that means you'd be 30 feet away from the thing. And there are some people who would be able to view this object better if they were farsighted, if they were further away from it. Some people, not everybody, certainly not the average person. Then there would be other people who would not be able to see it as well at 31.83 feet and would be better served being closer to it. Nevertheless, all of their interpretations of this would be their subjective opinion of what they were viewing when it bloomed. Absolutely. That's still subjective. Right. That's no, but it's not. No, they wouldn't. Some people may speak different languages. Some languages may have different words to be able to describe. Incorrect. I disagree. If we were if we were to take let look, king and coin. You got to let me finish my sentences. If we were to take if we were to take the flower and exchange it for, let's just say, snow, okay? Just a pile of snow. Generally people would be able to describe the snow. But if you get Eskimo people or Yupik people or Inuit people who are very associated with snow, they have like 30 different words to describe snow. And so they may be able to describe snow differently in their languages than just your average person. In the same way, move the flower back, tribal people may have different ways to interpret such a natural thing as this flower than you or I may. You or I may just say, well, it's a flower, it bloomed on this time, it was this color, and we don't have that many words to describe it. I know, yeah, but we're only naming physical attributes of it. There may be people who could smell it, and they would just go at length. What up, Zoo? There's a significant amount of the population that's colorblind, and their opinion may not equate to that flower being yellow. I mean, even the interpretation of color is subjective. I would say that it depends on how they're colorblind. Well, I mean, we're talking about 100 people. Let me see what the average is for color. Yeah, but that's still a significant amount of the population. I'm saying that each of those individual people, every single 100 of them, will have a different subjective opinion of how to describe that flower. Correct? Okay, so well, even if you had people who had very similar vision and they weren't colorblind and they were all of similar ages and they spoke the same languages, I think that age would have a major effect. Older people generally have a, older people older people generally have a larger vocabulary than younger people. They've had they've had more they've had more experience to be able to increase their lexicon. No, 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 older. People who are 20, 30, 40, 50 years old have had more time to develop their vocabulary than someone who's 10 or 15 years old. Okay, does a person vocabulary generally is it the largest? So, at least according to AI, it's 30 to 40 years old. So you're saying like high school and college. I'm saying, okay, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. I'm saying that I think it's probably closer to 40, if not 50. Probably about age 45 is probably a good median for when someone's vocabulary is. I would have probably said about 50. Yeah, probably. I mean, if it's going to say 30 to 40, okay, I would have probably said 40 to 50. Okay, I mean, nevertheless, we're not talking style. We're talking about how many words they know. We're talking about how many words they know and how they can describe something. And I would say I even think I probably say I'll probably go back to 50. That someone who is 50 years old knows more words than someone who's 40 years old. Generally, the mind starts to wane probably into the 60s and 70s and 80s certainly, but a 50-year-old person is basically in prime vocabulary, a prime vocabulary age. No, 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 no. It doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with them having experienced hearing words for 50 years. So even if they don't necessarily use the words regularly, they have an understanding of what they are. Infinite, infinite. I'm saying that there is. I'm saying, I'm saying that all of their opinions. I understand. That's okay. I'm saying all of their opinions are subjective. all of their opinions would be subjective. They would be working towards a more objective goal, and you might be, but it's still a subjective opinion. But you're just looking at this in human terms, though. We could have animals, which is a subjective opinion of what you would believe the color of that flower was. That's you may not like this. You may not like this counter to this, but essentially, you have your 100 people. They all agree that it was yellow. That's fine. You could have an alien. Not even that. You just have 100 people. They all agree that it's yellow. They don't go into the shade of yellow or how it made. We do because that's a realistic scenario. But I'm saying, in even if you were to say, okay, let's get it. I'm saying that I'm granting you the idea that if you could, you can't, but if you could get 100 people to agree that a flower is yellow, that still doesn't mean that the flower is yellow. I agree with that. There are going to be some people who say that it looks like it looks peach. There's going to be some people who say that it looks like lilac. There are going to be other people who say that it looks. I'm saying that that's just a human interpretation of this. There will be people, and you won't like this counter, but if you had an alien civilization of, let's say, 1,000 aliens watching these humans do this, they could be interpreting this flower on a different wavelength, and it may not be yellow to them. That's what that's what color is, though. It's essentially how our eyes interpret different wavelengths. Wait, you said clo- closer to objective. Closer to objective. It's still a subjective opinion. So these are just individual opinions. It would just be opinions. It would be similar opinions. It would be similar subjective opinions, but it would still just be subjective. It would be similar subjective. Every every opinion, every opinion, every opinion, every every opinion is subjective. Whether it's the alien, whether it's the people in the 100 people sitting around the circle, or whether it's a dog. All all of their opinions are subjective. That's better. Okay. Is that a question? Can you summarize? Can you summarize? Can you summarize your question to me in one sentence? Whatever question you have. I disagree with the premise. I disagree with the premise already. I disagree with the premise already. I, please summarize whatever your question is in like 50 words, not a run on sentence. Like, tighten it. No, just less than king and coin. I didn't say exactly 50 words. I think, hey, we were able to have some really great conversation. No, I don't want you to do that. King and coin, king and coin. We had a really great conversation, and now we're just disagreeing about semantics, okay? And that's not getting us. Okay, that's fine. I didn't say exactly 50, but just don't make it a run-on sentence. Beautiful. King and Coin, it's been a pleasure to be able to speak with you this evening. If you ever have any other questions, I'd be happy to discuss them with you. I've got some other projects that I'm going to take on right now. Feel free to watch the program that I'm watching, and I want you to know that I appreciate your inquisitiveness. I think you're a very smart individual, and you're welcome here anytime, okay? I've given you a couple hours of my time, and I have other things that I need to which I need to attend at this moment. Thank you for your time.
The biggest thing was when my voice dropped was my experience playing online video games. I went from being called a girl and a pussy to a fist and a pedophile. Yeah, and I tried to explain myself, like, no, I'm not a pedophile. I'm 12 years old. But it turns out that's exactly what a pedophile would say. All right.
There you go. Alex Holiday with exactly 60 seconds. Welcome to the show.
What'd you say?
Somehow your voice is scarier than all three of the scary people that are
And you
on
can
the
understand me
stage.
too.
Yeah, you are a real slender man. You're slender boy. Look at you, you big giant baby. What's going on up there, Danny? What's happening? David, come get it. Yeah, yes, do it. Yes, David. Absolutely. How about a hand for the great David Deary, everybody?
David
Keeping us
Deary!
all safe.
He still loves Hillary
A
Clinton!
lot of water on this stage.
and he was kind of sad that I didn't shout out our company.
Wow. Well, you want to plug the family?
J&T Systems if you want an alarm system.
Hey, honestly, for 3 months, man, I love your joke. I don't know if we're supposed to be.
Who doesn't want a home invasion system put in by someone who looks like they would invade your home? And they're like, oh, you can trust me. Only me and you know the code. Wow.
I promise, the chloroform is protocol.
I love it. I love it. Al, if you would think that this guy's involved with one conspiracy or something shady, what's the vibe you get from him, Eddie Bravo?
El Paso Walmart shooter. That's what I got.
Oh, wow.
That's
Eddie, you
Say "Make America Great Again."
Yeah.
Slow.
wow, he refuses to say
Fuck America,
Fuck America. Fuck America. I want it to be shitty again.
He's a nice guy. Don't choke him out. But be serious, man. I like your joke writing. For 3 months in, I'm very impressed. There's not a lot of wasted lines. I thought it was great.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
I would say use that. Your dad wanted you to say, my dad came out. You do that line on stage. I like that.
Yeah.
Your dad wanted you to plug his company. That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
You guys need a home theater system.
I do.
Good
I
honor, good work.
do. Yeah. I don't have a feeling you're going to watch me jerking off while I just watch Netflix and shit. Oh, he's watching it again.
Well, Alex, you got pulled out of the bucket. We had fun with you. Good set.
Hey.
Sam Tripoli approved. There you go, Alex. Wow, this is a fun episode.
Tell you which one they are, but I cannot pronounce them. But sometimes language barrier can be to my advantage.